How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. We're going to be talking about everything Pepe, understanding what's really happening, and of course what we could be expecting as we are starting off a brand new week ahead of us. If you're looking at, the gainers today, we are seeing some coins up, quite a bit. Obviously, overall market seeing a little bit of a minor pullback, nothing crazy, but obviously, if you look at it from that perspective, the coins that are, holding in the green is obviously always nice to see. So, Dogwif had, Pepe, Caspa, really gaining a lot of traction right now. Obviously, we are obviously coming out of the weekend. On the weekends, more manipulation than usual due to the fact that CME futures are closed. That's something that, we always want to keep in mind when we are analyzing, crypto's projects over the weekend. But taking a look at Pepe, it was able to get back above 1400 zone, still 4 zeros in front of the price, also up 7.1% in Bitcoin comparative and a staggering 10% in Ethereum comparative. Market cap is approaching $6 billion and the 24-hour trading volume, holding really nicely around this $2.6 billion. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So holder count currently is sitting at 431,600 holders. Obviously, it's increasing day by day. That is obviously really nice to see. It really gives us, a better understanding as to, where really the accumulation pattern is at. And pretty much over the last 2 years, I've been covering Pepe, and we have seen a nice steady increase towards the upside for holder count. And of course, on-chain data doesn't lie. If you look at Etherscan, it's all right in front of us. But looking at the broader meme coin market, the valuation for the entire market itself, the category is at 80.2 billion. It has been climbing at our record pace. Now, a lot of excitement coming in. Some people are just, jumping around when they're looking at their portfolio because, memes have really carried over, the momentum. If you compare it to utility projects are actually lagging when it comes to comparing with meme coins. And that is, why meme coins are so exciting. Of course, it doesn't really bring any sort of real use case. It's all supply and demand and, it depends on the hype factor. But, it is something that's very popular in accumulation and, people adding into their portfolios due to, the crazy ROI that you can achieve. But long term, as I've stated to you guys before, 99.9% of these meme coins are going to go to zero. So this is where you want to lock those profits and have your exit strategies in play. But if you're looking at Pepe, you're noticing something very, very interesting playing out, and I'm sure you guys want to know exactly what that is. If you're looking over the top 5 projects, obviously after the third, valuation difference is quite large. I would say pretty much double of what Trump's Trump coin valuation is. But if you're looking at this, it's the only coin that's up 7.2% right now in the top 3. Tells you everything you need to know. And look at the 24-hour trading volume difference. It's still something a lot of people overlook, but on this channel, you don't want to be overlooking this $2.6 billion. It's outpacing SHIB and just behind Dogecoin, which again is the originator of the meme coin market. And that should really tell you, where the momentum lies. But with that said, let's take a look at, what we're really looking at as far as the price is concerned. We did see the dominance going up a little bit today. You could see this for yourself. We were down to 62.64% 2 days back. We did see a bounce up to 63.5%, while Bitcoin did see a little bit of a minor pullback. Bitcoin is heading towards the upside, slow but steady rise. Obviously, some big news coming out of from Donald Trump regarding, the China and U.S. Trade talks. Some big news coming out that, they're coming up with some sort of a resolution. And obviously, if that really does get published, I think that is going to, push Bitcoin towards an all-time high in the upcoming days ahead of us. So if you're looking at BTC, Bitcoin has retested the $105,000 a few times. So we're seeing a little bit of a hard time breaking out of that range, but so far so good. We need to keep the weekend factor in mind. But let's take a look at, what's happening with Pepe. Pepe was able to retest the 1474 zone. We actually went above that resistance I spoke to you guys about. As of now, Pepe wants to break out. It wants to head to, the May 27th high, which of course was from last year at 1706. That is a major resistance, but I am very, liking what we're seeing here. We touched right at the neckline of the 1474 zone, as to be expected, as to be a little bit of a rejection at that range, and that's exactly what ended up happening. But so far so good. It's holding on to this momentum it's seeing, and again, the 24-hour trading volume really sums it up for us. But if you're looking at it, from where we currently are, that itself is about a 24% increase for us to retest the May 28th level, and that is the next target that I'm really eyeing. After that, we could see Pepe pushing towards all-time highs quite fast, because breaking out of this key resistance is so important, because we would be retesting some of the levels we haven't seen since early Jan. So far so good. Liking what I'm seeing here. Very, very impressed, considering over the weekend how Pepe has performed. Lock those profits in when you see them. Don't make the mistake this time around for not locking in profits. Don't listen to the trolls online. If the money that you're sitting is too much that you cannot afford to lose, that is your best chance to lock some profits, take some off the table. But if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that red subscribe button, and I will see you guys later. It's been Crypto ZX, and peace out.